Hey guys, Mark with the Dog Trainer here. Today we're going to do a quick review video of the PawControl Dremel. This is the 7760 model. As always, I'm going to put product links in the video description, so feel free to check those out. So I bought this Dremel to replace the Dremel that I had been using for years, and I've probably been using this for about 2 weeks now. And I really love it, and that's why I decided I would do a review video. We ended up getting things done much faster, it was a lot cleaner, and it had a little more flexibility to cater to my different dogs. This particular model comes with 4 different speed settings or intensity settings. And I'm gonna go into more depth in another video, but those settings can really help us introduce this to a dog that is timid of this type of equipment. Where, kind of the short version of this is that the lower the intensity or the speed, kind of like the less intense the vibration feeling is going to be, where the faster or stronger that we have it set to, the more intensified that vibration and shaking is going to be. So depending on our dog's sensitivity level to that vibration, we want to be able to adjust it to kind of cater to them. So this one has 4, but the one that I was using before only had 1 setting. So there was really no flexibility at all. Now, moving on to the next thing is that this comes with a safety guard. So if you're not super confident in your ability to cut your dog's nails, you can use the safety guard or this kind of, I think this is also a different type of like measurement safety guard. Now the plastic tip here, the clear one, the kind of added benefit that I didn't realize I was going to have here is that this catches a really big majority of the dust that comes off when we're shaving our dog's nails. So this ended up being way cleaner than I was anticipating, that I could like pop the top off and literally dump out like a big pile of the filed down nail. So that was kind of an added benefit I wasn't expecting. Now we can also adjust this guard to decide how long we want our dog's nails to be, and it also comes with this 45-degree angle to kind of really make sure that you're cutting your dog's nail the right way. Now, if we take this off, we have our attachment here. This particular kit came with 2 different types of attachments. It came with a disc, and it has, I believe they refer to it as a band, but it's more of a cylinder. And I'm going to show you guys close-ups on both of those here in a second. You can probably find different grit sandpapers depending on your needs, but this particular Dremel comes with 60 grit, whether you're getting the band or the discs. I believe this came with maybe 3 discs total and 2 bands, but I'll show you guys that here in a second to confirm. Now, even though we're mainly talking about the 2 bits that this one comes with, there are other attachments available that you could use for this as well. Now, we can also remove the safety guard if we want, again, just depending on your level of comfort with this. And the last thing that I like about it is that we can use a USB for charging. So those are really, most Dremels, there's not anything too crazy going on, but those are the main things that appeal to me versus the cheaper model I was using in the past. So now why don't we take a deeper dive so I can show you how this thing works. Okay guys, so this is the full package that I had purchased. It actually came with 4 sanding discs, one of which is already on the bit itself, which is on the Dremel, and then our 3 replacements. Then there's a separate attachment bit that has the sanding belt on it, and then there's also an additional sanding belt replacement. To the left of all of that is what they call the Easy Twist nose cap, and that's just what you would use if you decided you didn't want to use the safety guard that's already on the Dremel. And then below all of that is our wrench. I didn't actually have to use the wrench, but if you had, weak hand or finger strength, that might be helpful. And then below that, we have our USB charger. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is this depth guide measurement cap. That it's supposed to have 3 settings, 3 being the shortest that you would cut the nail. But the first problem I ran into is I realized that I could not actually get it to the third setting. So I did some research and I had found that you're actually not able to use the third setting with this particular attachment. So I hope I'm saving you some trouble by telling you that. But let me show you how we can get a closer cut without that third setting. So we're going to take off the safety guard first. Obviously, I already took off the safety guard cap. And this is also how you would replace the attachment. Okay, now we're going to hold down this lock button while we unscrew the attachment bolt. Okay, and then in this instance, I'm just going to pull it out to show you that you could put an entirely different bit on. But really quick, before we do that, we're going to put this back on. And now the main thing that you have to do if you want this to be closer, like a shorter nail, is that as you tighten it, you want to pull the bit a little bit away from the bolt so it's just a hair closer to the cap. Okay, and now if you pull it out too much, it's going to bump into the cap. So there is kind of a sweet spot. Now when we put that cap back on, it should be a hair closer to the cap, making that cut a little bit closer. Okay, now in this instance, I'm going to put the Easy Twist nose cap on instead of the safety guard, and then we're going to use our sand belt bit instead. And again, hold down the lock button as you're screwing the bolt back on. And then we've got our 4 different settings here that I really quickly wanted to touch on, is that in the video or the footage that I got, you'll see that when I've got it on the higher settings, this thing is really taking off a lot of the nail. Now, I said that this is cleaner, but unfortunately, that's only the case if you're using the disc with the cap, because the cap is what is catching all the dust. With this attachment, you can't actually use that cap, so it's not really that much cleaner. This happens to be my preference, but if you were really worried about the mess, you could use the disc instead. Now, the last thing is I should probably show you guys how to replace the disc, and this is a little tricky, especially to get on camera. It requires some finger dexterity, but basically, you're going to pull down on the cap so you can see that kind of locking key come out, and you fit that right into the disc, and then you rotate the disc until it locks. Okay, this took me a couple tries to really figure out how it worked and just to be able to actually do it. But each time I did it, I was getting a little bit faster and it got a little bit easier. But that is probably everything you guys need to know about this Dremel. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.